Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fortress Comic News, episode 317. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, alongside my co-host here, Mike. What's popping today, Mike?
Nothing, man. We got another returning guest today on the show. That's always exciting. Mr. David Lucarelli's coming back.
Yeah.
To chat with us. He's bringing Tinseltown back. That was a pretty fun book.
Yeah, I love David. Tinseltown was like my favorite thing that Alterna did. So
Yeah,
when we were doing the Alterna runs back in the day, that was the book that really stood out to me as like my favorite. So I'm
and
really
out
happy
of
to be
like the
talking about it.
description, I thought I would have never cared about something like that.
It it's funny, the more and more the older I get, as I get like away from these, like, when you're younger and it's like,
mhm.
oh, I don't read that, or I don't watch that,
Yeah,
and I get away from that and I realize like, oh man, like I like this stuff.
yeah. I could just like this stuff for my own taste.
Yeah, so like I might not be into everything in that genre, but like I found one in this genre that like I really liked, or I found like a niche inside the genre that I really like. So
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
lesson, kids. Try new things.
Yep, and it's also testament that he's getting another installment. So can't wait to talk to him. Yeah, I went to a couple libraries this weekend. Because there's comics in libraries. People didn't know that. Um, and the whole library thing's kind of new to me. I mean, like I just tag along most of the time, but I'm like getting more into it now because I'm going to talk about it. I read it earlier, but like I walked into the teen graphic novel or the young adult, the YA graphic novel section got Human Target, which is a Black Label book. So that was pretty fun. Um, I've jumped off the Tom King train for a while now, but I read that and I think that's more stuff that he really espionage and like making the superheroes and the DC characters the background is what he does best. Like trying to fit his style to continuity and like a main superhero book is like it's like not where he should be. So I think you understand when you read it because I think you really like it. Just the first 6 issues, but
That's one I really want to check out.
yeah, Human Target.
When you got your library card, did you get one of these fancy Marvel Comics library cards?
What? No.
So, friend of the show, Daniel Calvin.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows American Dreams. Being published by Band of Bards right now, so go to your local comic shop and check that out.
Yep.
But he, in a Discord I'm in with him, he got his new library card. He's in New York City, so I don't know if this is a New York City thing. I thought it
It
was just a
probably is. Yeah.
library thing.
Yeah.
But he's got one that has like Spider-Man on it.
What?
Yeah, so his library card has his name and then like an image of Spider-Man on it and everything.
So, like I believe any library card you get in the New York, now this is a library podcast, there's a lot of cool things the library provides just besides free comics. But I believe I can connect digitally with the New York Public Library in New York City and like request things through there, which is cool.
Yeah, don't they have like a digital service now too?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've been reading a ton of digital comics. That's how I've been using my library card lately. You hook up to like Hoopla and some other things, and it's like a comicsology with free comics. You're not paying anything. So you just use your library subscription. It's really great. And they have movies on there, TV stuff. It's crazy.
I'll have to go check out my small town redneck library.
Yeah. Well, you'll find out too, Chris, that yours might be part of like 5 others. That's how ours is here. It's like part of like 5 or 6 others locally. So
I joke, but ours is actually like the biggest in the area.
oh, that's cool.
And I think ours is like the host for a lot of the other ones. And when you go in, like, so when you see the outside of it, it doesn't look all that. I mean, it looks like another building. And I live in a town that's very historic, so like they don't like to upgrade.
Yeah, right.
If you get my drift.
Yep.
So it looks like everything else on the street is because it's right on our main street. But if you go inside, it's like, I mean, I haven't been there since pre-COVID, so I assume it's only gotten better. But it's unreal the difference between the inside or the outside and the inside, because it almost looks 21st century inside with everything they added.
That's cool. Sometimes you just have to navigate like the creepy guys hanging out on the computers, but once you get past that, the library's a cool place.
Blow
At
on the
least,
spot here, Mike.
yeah, sorry. At least when I go to the downtown one, there seems to be more of those than in the one that's in town.
You're much closer to like a big metropolitan city than I am.
Yeah. So like the downtown one is bigger, but it's got more creeps.
Yeah.
Whereas the one outside of the city's nicer and not so many creeps, but not as big as a comic selection. So you gotta take the good of the bad, people. And then, I don't know if you know this, but there's a special section. Sorry, I was talking about so much about libraries because I just learn something new every time I go there. I'm not a fast reader at all. That's why I read comics, obviously. There's like a high demand section, and right up front, and you only get a week to rent the books. I thought when I was going to check these comics out, that's why I checked a bunch out this week. Was like, oh, they give you like a month. I thought they gave you like a couple weeks, because I was like, okay, I don't know if I can read all these comics in a couple weeks, but a month, hell yeah. And they have the special section of the high demand books where there's a lot of requests for them. You have 7 days to finish like books with just words, like novels. And I was like, that's too much pressure. Like, and I get it. That's like a long time for some people. They can finish a book in like 2 to 3 days. But for me, I'm just like, I'll never be part of that group. There's like a group of people I'll never be part of.
See, I can do that, but that means I read nothing but that book.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if I can do that.
And part of the reason I love I love comics for a lot of reasons, but one of the things I loved about month-to-month comics is I have really bad ADD.
Mm-hmm.
So like to jump from story to story,
makes sense.
Like, works for me. And then to like jump story to story, and then turn on TV and watch this story, and like I'm constantly jumping from different stories. So that's why it works for me. Whereas a novel, like I really have to just sit and like dig into it.
Yeah, I get that. Like you don't have to just commit to one thing where you're like, okay, my brain's kind of trailing off here.
Yeah, and even I forget who I was talking to about it, but there's a creator. I think it was on the show. We talked to too many people.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about like our shame list, our stock of like graphic novels sitting in our room.
Yeah,
and he's like, you probably have like 5 or 6 graphic novels, all with bookmarks in them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the guy from Invader Comics. I'm zoning on his name though. And I was like, you're right. That's because I read them like I do my monthlies, where I read an issue, I put it down, I grab another graphic novel, I read an issue, and I put it down.
This was a lot to read a 6-issue volume, and I did it over the course of a couple of days. I read like you said, a couple chapters, and I put a bookmark in like my 100-page book. To some people, they're like, you fool. Okay, one more thing that I found funny about the library, and then we'll continue on here, is like, you go in there and everybody's like, oh, we're in the library, you gotta be quiet. And like when you always walk by the people working behind the counters that are always working in silence, like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, oh my god, like I'm good, but like, like, you're breaking your own rules. You're not supposed to be loud. But I think it's fine if you're loud, like to ask questions and stuff. I think that's fine. There's no issues with it. But like when you walk in, it's so quiet that you feel like you shouldn't be doing that at all.
Ours, there's like a section, and once again, it's been years, but there was a section where like people go to read or like do homework or whatever.
Yeah,
and that's the section where like you shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere else, you're kind of cool.
But it's just like I'm trying to like follow the rules, and the people working there like, have a good day, and I'm like, oh god, like that wasn't me. And then like I walk around and it's dead silence, but you can only hear like my ankles or like knees cracking because from when I played soccer. So I'm just like, okay, like this, it sounds like I'm walking on like potato chips, and I'm like, it's probably not as bad as I think it is, but it's just like my own anxiety of like, it's too quiet in here.
Yeah.
I need
my
to get
last
my
thing
books
with the library, I always think of that episode of Seinfeld when Kramer's like trying to save a quarter.
Yeah. The newspaper.
Yeah.
Oh my god! If anybody, even if you've never seen Seinfeld, you gotta go watch this. I forget what season it's in, maybe the 3rd or 4th. Kramer, he steals the newspapers from the library?
No. It's when the library detective hunts down Jerry for overdue.
Jerry he has an overdue book, and there's a library detective.
Yeah, his name is Bookman.
Bookman, oh my god! And he goes around and he's like, he doesn't let people talk. He like goes over to Jerry and he goes, "What do you think you are, some kind of fly guy?" You're just like, "I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right here. Not under my watch." He like takes it so seriously.
His name is Bookman, for real?
Yeah,
that's like an ice cream guy. An ice cream truck driver's name is Cone. If you're not watching Seinfeld, I don't know what you're doing
Dude,
with your
I've been
life.
watching it every night now. It's on Netflix. I just put it on while we're doing
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Anyways, okay, everybody. There's a little bit of news this week, so if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, we should probably get through it.
TV stuff. As more and more shows join the writer's strike, like Seth MacFarlane and American Dad, the Duffer Brothers and Stranger Things, another shutdown production, Daredevil will no longer film until there's a resolution to the strike. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I would have thought that Stranger Things was already written, so that's a surprise. Unless there's like rewrites.
Yeah, well, even so this is going to be our ignorance in production, but
Oh yeah, I have no
apparently
idea.
they write as they film because Daredevil's been filming.
Oh, we'll have to talk to Lucarelli about that. Maybe he can give us some insight.
Yeah. So a couple things here. As I see more and more people join the strike, I know we talked about Blade last week
Yeah.
and like how they're kind of cursed, and I still agree they're kind of cursed in this.
Oh
but
yeah, for sure.
it makes more sense as to why they stopped production on that. And like we're like, okay, let's just let this thing do.
Yeah.
As much as I'm kind of like, I hate saying I don't care because it's not that I don't care. It's that it's not something that's at the tip of my mind every day, like the writer's strike.
Yeah, because I could go. I don't know how you feel. I could go without these properties until the writers get what they want. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I'll live on.
I'm of the mind like I hope people get what's theirs. I mean, there's
Yeah.
billions of dollars being thrown around. These writers deserve something, but
Right.
beyond that, like I'm kind of happy that instead of doing what we did years ago, and everybody's throwing around the Heroes reference right now, where
Oh
like the
yeah.
last season of Heroes, it just kind of went off the rails during the writer's strike.
Yeah.
Instead of doing that and letting these shows suffer, especially shows like Stranger Things and Daredevil, they're going to put their foot down and say, no, like these people are very important to this process. You need to figure this out, and then we will give you the thing that makes you billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I like that. I like that people are standing up to kind of the machine of it all and saying, fuck this. This is what we're doing. These people deserve more.
Yeah. And even Neil Gaiman came out and said that like he will not allow Sandman to be written by non-guild writers right now.
Yeah.
So
And
like,
then in another tone, as a consumer, I'm
yeah.
happy. I might have to wait a little bit longer, which will
Right.
make me unhappy, but at least I know the product will have a chance to be good, as opposed to a scab writing staff where like
Yeah.
it's most likely going to be bad.
Yeah.
So
I like how you said that though. Like most will probably be good because even with the right writers, it's like what the hell?
yeah, like even the best writer writes something bad. Even the best painter paints something bad. Like
Yeah.
art is a weird thing, and it's never perfect.
True that. Wow. Wow. What a fucking real shit here today, folks. It's been a while since we talked about The Walking Dead. But The Walking Dead, Dead City. Sorry, there's two deads in the title, everybody. Walking Dead, Two Dead, Two City. Only months away. We got the first trailer of the series. I didn't watch because I saw that like Maggie and Negan are in it together. I was like, what is going on? How did we, it's like, I think I stopped watching when Negan showed up in the show and now he's just with Maggie. And it's like, so for me and for a lot of people I know, it's like Glenn died to Negan and now we see Maggie with Negan. It's like, what the hell's going on?
I mean, in the comics, that kind of happened too, where
yeah,
I mean,
stopped reading
it went
too.
through much. I mean, okay, there's a few seasons that I haven't watched. I stuck around a lot longer than most people I know, and even I kind of fell off.
Yeah.
But even in the comics, like they didn't kill Negan, and Negan became part of the group eventually.
Right.
There was just this expanded timeline where Maggie's just like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. I'll say this got me kind of excited for The Walking Dead again. Like, because this feels almost like Escape from New York with zombies.
Okay, I could if it's something like that and you watch it and tell me it's awesome, I'll watch it because I love Escape from New York.
I'm at the very least I'm going to jump into this. I throw around finishing The Walking Dead because one of those things like I watched it for how many years and I never finished it.
Yeah,
but who knows if that'll happen. I want to check this out because I think that trailer, and I hope everybody goes on and gives it a shot and watches the trailer at least, gives this vibe of like Escape from New York, and I love that movie so much. And then having Negan there as a character, like I thought we got the best actor for that role in Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I thought he was fine in terms of a adaptation of it that had to be toned down a little bit for TV.
Yeah.
And it's been long enough for me outside of that like Walking Dead sphere where I'm kind of ready to go back
Mm.
and like be a part of the whole zombie thing again. So I'm going to check it out. I think it looks really cool. I
Yeah.
really do.
I do miss the days of like everybody would be gathered around for the Walking Dead episode on Sunday night.
Yeah, and I miss the days of every week I walked into the comic shop after The Walking Dead aired, and somebody who never read a comic came in and said, I heard this Walking Dead is also a comic.
Yeah, right.
And they bought the first volume, and then inevitably they came back within that week for more. I missed that as well because who knows how many people actually stuck around to read comics as a whole. But there's a whole lot more people that respect the medium of comics because of that show. And with that alone, that show is forever my debt. And I don't care what anyone says about it being overhyped or overdone or whatever. It did more for the comics medium than any Marvel movie ever did.
Mm-hmm.
At least from the point of view that I saw, where I saw people actually coming in and buying books.
Yeah, right. True that. That's what pretty much got me in the store. I think I had just stopped at the comic store and was like, oh, Walking Dead. And then I saw Batman New 52 #1, and I was like, they still make Batman comics? And I bought it. And that was the start of the Scott Snyder run, which would go down as one of the best comic book runs for Batman. So what a time to hop in, I guess.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah. Who knew?
New 52 gets too much shit. I'm going to say it right now.
Yeah. I mean, come on. That was like Scott Snyder's start. And everybody was like, holy shit.
Me and some other influencers, whatever the fuck you want to call us, are talking about doing a sit-down conversation about the New 52 because we all agree, like, it got way too much shit and people hate on it too much.
My boy Firestorm got shafted. I always see like there's like some writer that keeps posting that they had a I don't know if it was Dan Jurgens. Somebody had a script for Firestorm that never got made, and I always see his name pop up because he got shafted in the New 52. They released him at the wrong time. Like try to do an ongoing about Firestorm and nobody cares about it. You know what I mean? Like
mistakes were made. Don't get me wrong. I mean, mistakes will always be made.
Mm-hmm.
But fuck, like, dude, that Batman run was phenomenal. That Aquaman run, it goes down as one of the best.
Action Comics by Grant Morrison.
Action Comics was great. Dude, the Earth 2. Like, I know it wasn't the Earth 2 everybody wanted.
No,
but that Earth 2 book is one of my favorite books.
Val Zod gets used in everything now.
Yeah, like, yeah.
He's like the multiverse president. Val Zod is like the head of the Justice League Incarnate, or whatever.
Yeah, fuck the haters.
Yeah. Right, Greedo? Greedo agrees. Movie news. David Maisel, one of the original architects of the MCU, will be helming a new shared universe alongside Mythos Studios based on Michael Turner's Echoes Comics series. The shared universe will see characters from the series come together across film, TV, and video games. That's pretty cool. Don't know much about that stuff.
Neither do I. I looked up some images of. I'm gonna go with Ecos.
Okay.
It looks very like. I'm trying to think of the right thing for it. It's very like godlike, like a lot of people in golden armors and a lot of angels and bright lights and some people that are like half wolf or something. Like it's definitely different from the other shared universes we have, especially in like multimedia.
Mm-hmm.
I said it with James Gunn. I'll say it with this. Putting video games into that sphere is a mistake.
Right.
I don't like that, but we'll see. I think we'll get like 2 movies out of this and then see ya.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see.
I just don't see enough room for all this.
Yeah. I forgot to do the flashbacks. I'll do that in a second. But the I don't know if you saw like there's some like rumors going around about Superman casting. Like I don't know, James Gunn has like shot that down a few times. But I think it's Christopher Holt. Is that his name? I think people are saying that he might be Lex Luthor for Superman Legacy.
Yeah, I guess the only issue I have, I mean, it's been the same with Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And the only issue I have with all these rumors running around is just they're never true.
Yeah, but I see Nicholas Holt as Lex Luthor. Like I feel like he's a popular character enough where he almost, if you shave his head, he looks like Lex Luthor.
So I just Googled Christopher Holt and a picture
Nicholas
of
Holt.
Jackson Lanzig came out.
No, it's Nicholas Holt. I got it wrong.
Nicholas.
Yeah, he was a Beast in the X-Men movies, and he's been in a bunch of shit.
Oh yeah, I know him. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so sick of talking. I mean, this isn't directed to you, just in the general sense. I'm so sick of talking rumors because I'm like, oh, did you see fucking Kylo Ren's gonna be Reed Richards? And then like 2 weeks later, it's like, nope, that's not happening.
I know.
Like, just call me when we have a casting.
Yeah, but like James Gunn will tweet it down and say nobody's been casted yet. There's only one person, and it's like not a main character.
Yeah, I mean it's Christopher Pratt, everybody. So just calm the fuck down.
It's Chris Pratt is going to be the janitor for the Fortress of Solitude.
That's the only one I'm calling. I'm calling him as Booster Gold.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Why would you have anybody else? So we haven't done flashbacks in a while, and it looks like Pat's flashback. Sorry, he's finally caught up. So we'll just do like episode like 10 of 13 and 11 of 13 because it's almost done, guys. We're just gonna summarize these 10 and 11. Barry Allen, that is, gets transported back in time to the day that his mother dies. I think I've seen that before. Barry gets knocked out by another speedster, holy shit, and is found by his parents. His parents take him into the hospital, take him out to lunch. After lunch, Barry's approached by none other than Eobard Thawne. Barry knows that Thawne is there to kill him as a child and will ultimately kill his mother that night. Thawne gloats to Barry and that his plan is unstoppable. Joe finds... In the parallel, the Joe of the past finds blue crystal and becomes possessed. Joe then attacks Barry. Barry saves Joe, and the blue crystal disappears. Okay. Barry and Thawne then have an epic showdown that results in Barry's mother's death. Oh no, and the fight scene you've seen in the Barrys of the past Flashpoint who are watching the fight. Okay, so you see Flashpoint Barry watching the fight of that Flash and Reverse Flash. So, like, there's a flashception, I guess, of people fucking up the timeline is what it sounds like. And then elsewhere, a man that resembles Eddie Thawne leaves for work to Mercury Labs and is struck by lightning. Interesting. So he thinks they're going to set up Cobalt Blue as the last villain. I haven't read much about Cobalt Blue, to be honest. Yeah, so
I'm guessing he runs really fast.
That too, yeah. The next episode takes place in the present. Team Flash finds traces of Cobalt from where Barry disappeared. Okay. Chillblaine returns to help them search for Barry. There's a Cobalt gas that attacks CCC Media. Chillblaine's possessed by blue crystals. Speed Force and crystals are removed from Chillblaine's body. Speed Force explains that the negative Speed Force is controlling the blue crystals. Interesting. Elsewhere, Malcolm Gilmore, a man who resembles Eddie Thawne, goes to CCPD to investigate who Eddie Thawne is. A voice tells him to find Iris. He breaks into the media center looking for Iris, can't find her, ends up at Eddie's grave, digs it up, finds the coffin empty. He then gets back to his memories and realizes that he is Eddie Thawne. Oh my god. So they're giving Eddie Thawne his thoughts back.
Yeah, I heard... I forget the actor's name. The guy who originally played Thawne.
Yeah.
Was coming back for the finale.
Tom Cavanaugh.
Yeah,
he was like the best part. He was such a good villain.
Yeah. But yeah.
But they've been writing in circles for a while, and thanks to Pat's flashbacks, we'll finally see this if they did keep the show going for after the Super Friends episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess Flash defeats the villain.
Yeah,
and then him and Iris get to live happily ever after.
Or it's gonna like flip everything to the first episode, and then it's just gonna like you could watch it as a time loop. You should just be able to watch every episode as a time loop.
Oh my god, that'd be both a brilliant ending and a just terrible ending at the same time.
How else do you end it? Yeah, I guess we'll see. I guess Pat's flashbacks will tell us. So stay tuned. And the comic news, Chris. A little bit here. Marvel announced that they're ending the Steve Rogers Captain America series with a one-shot titled Captain America Finale #1. Does anybody see any issues with that? So not only are we the first issue of a series, Chris, is being titled #1, we're also giving that to the last issue of a series.
Well, it's a one-shot.
Yeah, this means the end of Hive Mind run on the series. But like putting the finale #1 means like gives me an idea there might be a finale #2.
My first thing I want to say is with Lanzig and Kelly no longer being on the book. Boo!
Yeah, I think that's what the hell are they doing?
I mean, I think this is the run that they pitched, and it's over.
Yep.
It sucks though. This is the best Cap's been since I first started reading Cap, which was Ed Brubaker. Cap. I don't know. Like, I like Sam as Cap just fine, but like it's not Steve.
Right.
It's just not. And I get why they want Sam to be the spotlight. You know, Captain America 4 is going to be Sam as Cap in the movies. It just sucks. I mean, it was so good. It was so well done. And we're going to be just coming out of a big like crossover kind of thing. So yeah, I'm bummed by this one. I'm really bummed.
Yeah. It does suck to see him go. So,
but I mean, in the back of my head, I know he'll be back. I just hope he comes back with a good creative team because this is the first good creative team we've had in a long time.
Yeah,
on Cap, at least in my humble opinion.
Yeah, and he's got a pretty good one. He's been reading Cap for a while. Titan Comics announced a new series. Seems like they're in the news every week now. A series continuing the continuity of the cult classic anime Robotech. The series will be titled Robotech Rick Hunter and will be written by Brandon Easton, art by Simone Ragazzoni. That's a fun last name. I like Robotech. I've never really understood the continuity of the anime or watched it all together, but I like giant robots. I like space. So it's an easy sell for me.
I just assumed you were a Robotech guy.
Oh yeah, I like
nothing
it
about
sure.
Robotech.
I know nothing about it either. That's my problem.
I know there's giant robots.
Yeah,
that's probably more than most people. So,
yeah,
I guess to be fair, I'm in like probably the top 30%.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I'm probably going to check out the first issue just to get started. I'm sure they'll have some catching up for me in there as well, which isn't a bad thing. And now we're going to talk about what we read this week. Comics.
Did some reading.
I read Human Target, first 6 issues. Talked about this a little bit, but this is like Tom King, what Tom King does best. Basically, the Human Target is a hero named the Human Target, and his power is he like takes hits for superheroes or famous people, like in place of them. Looks like he's been assassinated. The book starts off where he's assassinated. He's being attempted assassination of Lex Luthor, and then gets poisoned as well. So he has 12 days to figure out who tried to poison Lex Luthor before he dies. The suspect is the Justice League International. So like each issue, he's questioning a different Justice League International character. Really good. The art is fantastic. Greg Smallwood does the art. Some of these like colors and the paneling is just so good. I know you can't really see that in the camera. I gotta like get in front of it. There you go. But, like the way the paneling is, the art, like there's a lot of Guy Gardner in there, a lot of cool different colors, like noir stuff. You'd really like it. First 6 issues, he doesn't figure out who. That's the one thing I will say. Tom King's not a perfect writer, but he does this thing where there's an event and then you count down the days to the event, or he does something weird with time. Every first page of the issue, the character like re-narrates what happened to him, which is like, okay, if you're reading Human Target issue 6, you don't need to be reminded that he's been poisoned. Like every start of the issue, and I feel like this comes up a lot with Tom King, where like we're reiterating the same stuff, almost like spinning the wheel. Where this could have been 6 issues. I'm still going to read it because I like it, but it definitely could have been condensed, and I see that pattern a lot with like Tom King stuff lately.
Yeah, I wanted to check it out.
You know, it's really good. No, it's good, but I'm just saying like, but I do think this is his best work, where he takes the DC characters outside of the bubble of the story and like has them come in, you know, as intricate parts to it.
Yeah, just doing JLI characters pulls me in. Like I like the JLI a lot.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he treats Booster Gold like the way he writes the characters is really great from a perspective of someone who's like just a private eye detective, like interviewing all these people. It's really good stuff. Green Arrow #1. I don't know if you read this. Joshua Williamson and Sean Izaakse on the art. This is a really good first issue. I'm almost upset that I read it, because it's like, damn, now I have another ongoing to read.
It's a 6-issue mini.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I figured Joshua Williamson on it. They might extend it after that, but
they might, yeah. But right now it's a 6 issue.
It's a good first issue. Green Arrow's trapped in some other universe. But we know from like the past, I don't know what, one of the events, Roy Harper's back. Roy Harper's daughter comes back, and there's another guy. There's Roy's back. There's a bunch of people. There's a few people in the Arrow family that come back, and they're like not supposed to be there. But like by the end of it, we find out that Green Arrow gets transported somewhere like outside of the multiverse, or there's like a multiverse portal there, and so does Roy Harper's daughter. And when she shows up, he shoots the multiverse portal and says like, no, we're not allowed to go back, because they got to go back for a little bit and then get sent back to this like time zone or like area. And we see Green Arrow with like a long beard, like he's been there for a while, and he says like he destroys the multiverse portal, and it's like, we have to stay here for some reason, which is pretty interesting. I mean, like I mean, Green Arrow with a beard, you know, is cool, but like dealing with like a multiverse thing of like why they're not allowed to be in the real world, maybe there's some balance thing going on, so that's pretty cool. Stargirl and the Lost Children #6. This is Jeff Johns and Nock on the art. Interesting conclusion. So the villain ended up being an older time master. It was Geordi from the future. The younger ones save everybody, except one of the sidekicks sacrifices himself to like save his Earth. Goes back to his Earth and like, you know, dies saving it. All the sidekicks get transported to the current JSA timeline, which not really sure when that is yet. Because they can't be sent back. Like they needed to be removed from their timelines or die to like keep the universe going. And that's kind of why they've been kept out of time. So now they've been propelled into the current timeline, so you can tell stories about them now, which isn't so bad. And now Jay Garrick and his daughter, that story will continue in the JSA main storyline. So a couple cool things going on there. So I think they're going to do a whole other sidekick book of the JSA. But I think it's cool because like these JSA sidekicks are really cool, and the only way to like tell stories about them is to get them to where the current JSA is. So
remember that Jay Garrick book is going to have her in it as well.
Yeah, that's her and the daughter. So they're going to have that book together.
I think what you're going to see is the JSA. I think the current JSA book is also a limited series.
Okay.
I think you're going to see that spin. So these 3 books will come out. They'll conclude, spin into a new JSA book. That'll just be the younger versions, which is where I will stop reading. Okay. Personally.
Well, I'm gonna keep reading. I like the sidekicks, but yeah, I
don't mind the sidekicks, but it's a Shazam versus Mary Marvel situation.
Right.
I want the JSA.
Yeah, I get it. No, I get it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's almost like they brought these guys up because they're like, okay, now we can tell stories about these characters and let Jeff Johns not get upset about us touching the JSA for the next couple years because he has a plan for them or some shit, you know, like.
Yeah. If DC really loves me, which they don't. What they'll do is they'll do a JSA book with the JSA,
Yeah.
and then they'll make a new team.
Yeah.
The old ass Titans. I don't know, call it something.
Old ass Titans.
And just make that. Do the Titans to the Justice League.
Titan Society. Oh my god. Give us that.
There
book.
you go. Something like that. Yeah. Do that so that everybody's happy. But like just give me JSA, man.
Yeah, I know. And it's been a while since we got the main JSA book, right?
I feel like that book has been delayed.
Yeah,
it's been at least 2 months.
Yeah,
it has to have been.
I can't remember the last time I read that. Because I was like, man, speaking of like ongoing JSA stuff, when was the last time that issue has come out? So we'll have to like look that up. I'll have to take a look. But anyways,
which brings me back to an old thing from years ago.
Yeah,
where we were all blaming Gary Frank for Doomsday being late all the time.
Oh yeah,
I'm starting to think it's Jeff Johns.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, you have. Yeah, because there's only been. Yeah, dude. Issue 3 was like March 14th. Today is May 15th.
2 months.
14th. Yeah, it's been 2 months. You're right. Yeah, because I was like, wow. I was like, or it said like watch for issue 6 of the JSA. I think it mentions an issue number or something in one of these issues, and I'm like, huh. I don't think we're anywhere near there yet.
I think the last one we got was 3, right?
Yeah, so we've only had 3 issues. Yeah, come on, guys, man, just give me the JSA. Anyways, Saga number 64. There's some discrepancies on like these kids. The kids are going to steal this stuff to bring their father back, but it ends up being drugs to make it look like their father's coming back. Squire can talk now and wants to kill everybody. He seems like a really angsty teenager. That was kind of interesting. And then the mom is trying to get them off world on a ship, but has 30 minutes to find the children. This is probably the better issue out of all the newer ones, I would think, because now we're starting to get somewhere.
Yeah, we're getting away from like the petty politics, if that makes sense. Like I listen, he did a few issues there where it was like Amazon bad, and it's like, I get it, dude. Like I get it, Vaughn. Like, yes, I agree, Amazon bad, but
right.
And we're getting more into the overgrossing story of it. I guess my only disappointment is I really was hoping that Marco was coming back. I was like convincing myself he was coming back.
I think he still might. I mean, I don't know, because like it's debatable whether it's actually a drug and this guy's telling the truth. The kids definitely believe it. I don't know.
It is. I mean, it honestly would not shock me if it was kind of he's pulling the rug from people like me right now to then bring Marco back later, because it is a crooked cop that told him that, and just judging by the politics of the book, it would not shock me if a crooked cop was a bad guy in this.
Right.
So yeah, I really like this issue too. It was definitely the best of this like current chunk that we've gotten, in my opinion. So it was good.
Yeah, I liked it. That's all I had this week with the trade that I got to.
Okay, a few from last week, because I picked up my free comic book day stuff this week.
Nice.
The Marvel stuff was it was all like Spider-Man and X-Men, and I'm not a Spider-Man and X-Men guy, so didn't bother with those. But I did read Titan put out the Conan Barbarian free comic book day, so I wanted to check that out.
Cool.
It did its job. I think I'm going to check out Conan from Titan.
Nice.
What I like about this is they're kind of doing a reboot. Like, this story that they told is Conan leaving his homeland for the first time. So like literally the last panel is him walking out and seeing the mountain, the sunset, being like, all right, on to the great unknown, to adventures unseen. So I think it's a great place if somebody's interested in Conan to jump in, because it's literally the beginning. Like,
right. That is pretty interesting. Maybe I will check it out.
So I'm going to check it out. I liked it. And then they had the Dawn of DC Night Terrors free comic book day issue.
Yep.
This was a quick story that was Damian Wayne getting taking a power nap, is how they put it.
Okay.
And then he's entered into this dreamscape where the nightmares hit him. And, Damian being Damian, trying to control his dreams and all that shit. And finding out that he doesn't really have control, so Batman has to pull him out. And they kind of push it to the side as like, oh, I just had a nightmare, but obviously we as readers know better.
Right.
I think my only complaint is some of the art gets like funky at points. Like this whole thing here.
Yeah, what the hell's going on there?
It's really hard to tell what's going on. and the line artist is rough. Like, I mean, here's Damien just kind of standing there. Look how
Yeah.
squished his
What?
face is in that.
Is that his
Now,
arm? Is
no,
that
that's
what
like
it-
a bedpost coming
Oh,
off.
okay, okay.
But I'm like, his face is like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
the proportions are off.
And then there's Batman, and it's kind of the same thing. Like, it's almost got that scrunched face style to
Yeah,
it. It's
yeah,
not
that's weird.
bad. It's just it's not vibing with me.
Mm-hmm.
But his backgrounds and his monster design's really good. So that's one thing. But yeah, it was interesting. I mean, I'm gonna pick it up because we've been talking about Night Terrors for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll say it did not do its job, and that it got me excited for it.
Okay.
I finished Octopus by Richard Fairgray.
Oh, nice.
Really, really good slice of life book. Another one of those books that like typically not up my alley, but you know, Richard's a friend, so I checked it out and I did enjoy it. It's literally like dates and times of things that happen, like important moments in Richard's life, and him kind of retelling it with, I'm sure, some fantastical nature to it.
Mm-hmm.
And the overarching plot line is that he thinks he's becoming an octopus because he sees himself as this terrible person that ruins things.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets really introspective really quick. I will say the funny part to me is the only like really graphical sex thing in here is when him and like some kids from high school find an old porno mag.
Oh, really?
And it shows like a picture from the mag and it's a
Yeah.
girl like going down on somebody,
Uh-huh.
on a guy, I should say. And why I found that interesting is that as a gay man telling a story about him going to sex clubs and like
Right.
hooking up with other men,
Yeah.
the only graphical image in here is of straight sex.
Yeah, that's pretty ironic.
I found that funny, but I liked
Yeah.
the moments throughout here. I think it's well worth picking up if
Yeah, I have the digital, I just have to read it.
yeah. Batman Incorporated #8, or as the title says, Joker Incorporated #8.
I saw that pop up and I didn't even buy it this week because I couldn't do it. I was waiting to see if you said about it.
It's really good.
It was good. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I'll read it.
I mean, if you're enjoying the rest of the series, it's right along those lines. It's just
there's too many Jokers on the cover for me, man.
So the whole shtick here is that the new villain for the story arc is the Joker. And the Joker goes after Batman Incorporated because he feels that it's unfair that there's Batman out there without Joker. And what is Batman without a Joker? So
Right.
he creates Joker Incorporated.
Of course.
And tries to give all these new Batmen their own Jokers. And then, you know, there's team drama and all that stuff. But, you know, really good. I love Batman Incorporated right now. I think it's been
it's
phenomenal.
good. I got to read that issue.
Nocterra #14, I'm really enjoying. That's a hard book to talk about without spoiling 14 issues in, but I think it's a good series if you're a Scott Snyder fan. Junkyard Joe #6.
I did not read
finished
that yet.
up. This is the last issue, oversized issue, really good. Got some action in there. Kind of got his Junkyard Joe's backstory, what's going on with him, and then we also got a moment that explained why he's a part of this like grander Jeff Johns indie universe.
Okay.
And that's kind of where I'll leave that, but definitely not the last we're seeing of Junkyard Joe. Is what I can say.
Awesome.
Let's see, another Batman book. Batman White Knight presents Generation Joker. This is taking place right after the Batman, what was it called? Batman Beyond the White Knight.
Mm-hmm.
And we got Joker's daughter, and the Joker AI that was created in that last series is trying to send out one last message to his kids. Like, don't become me, is essentially what he's doing. And in doing that, tells them that like the AI is going to be done after a week. Like they have a week left to be with their father, and then he's gone forever.
Okay.
And in that, an old villain of Joker's, or an old villain of Batman's, but an old rival of Joker's, the ventriloquist, who Joker killed at one point. His daughter comes out of the woodworks and is going to take revenge on the Joker by killing his kids.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the story, the issue ends, is with, hey, something's coming on here. Let's see. Daredevil number 14. We get Daredevil back in New York City after the events of the last issue where like the fist is done. And this is really just Daredevil getting everybody that he failed, quote unquote, out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of heading on to the next direction that the fist wants him to go into, which he predicts will end in his death. And then as a backup story, Jason Liu and Lin Yoshi do a Iron Fist story where Iron Fist and Daredevil team up to fight some random crime. It's a really good issue. Daredevil's phenomenal. Cosmic Ghost Rider number 3. We find out the two Ghost Riders are connected in some way.
Oh boy!
But they are both Frank, but there's some connection that like whenever something happens to one, it happens to the other. So like when one loses its power, the other loses its power, and this and that. And Valkyrie's trying to figure out what the connection is and why there's two Cosmic Ghost Riders going around. So another phenomenal book. Stephanie Phillips book, everybody.
Yeah, Stephanie Phillips.
And then my last one is Keepers of the Cosmos, number 1, a Scout Comics book.
Nice.
This kind of mixes like your Saturday morning cartoons with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, that's cool.
We got this team that's going around trying to do different missions throughout the galaxy. When one of their former team members is arrested and is sentenced to death. Now I say Saturday morning cartoons. It's very adult.
Okay,
I'll say that, but they have to go out and help their teammate and do it. I like the team here. The art's really cool because it's got that cartoony vibe. And it does that thing that I Hate Fairyland does where everybody has like their kind of catchphrase for curse words.
That's cool.
Instead of just flat out, saying fuck all the time.
Yeah.
But if you like Guardians of the Galaxy sci-fi, it's a little bit, humory, over the top. I think
I'll
it's really
have to check
good
it out. I didn't even hear about that.
And it's Adam Barnhart book, who we've had in the show before.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. I'll check it out.
Yeah. So, Mike, that was everything I read this week. Where can people find you on this internet?
You can find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter. Where can they find you and/or the show?
You can find me at Fortress Chris on pretty much all social medias, especially Twitter. And you can find the show at Fortress Comics _ on Twitter and Instagram, or at fortresscomicnews.com. Remember, everybody, to give us a 5-star review in the podcatchers. Like, subscribe, share, comment down below on the YouTube version of the show. And there's the Patreon at patreon.com/fortresscomics. Thank you all so much for watching and listening this week. See y'all here next week.